Hey folks, this is the brand new ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 10 running Intel's new i7-1260P processor. This has the efficiency cores and performance cores in it. What we're supposed to get out of this is better battery life and better on-battery performance, more consistent. And I'm looking forward to testing all of that out. But for now, since I just got this thing, I've only had it for a couple of real-world hours, I thought it would be good to give you a tour of the device and tell you a little bit about my experience so far and a couple of nitpicky things just out of, first glance. Okay, so first of all, this is slightly better at rejecting grease. It was really good yesterday, but I noticed this morning that when I grabbed it, I got a nice big fat smudge on it. So we are not out of the woods yet when it comes to resisting grease and fingerprints. On the right-hand side, we have a USB-A port, a Kensington lock, and a headphone jack. On the back, nothing in terms of ports. And then on the other side, we do have, let's get this in the camera. Come on, baby. All right, we do have two Thunderbolt 4 ports, USB-A, and a full-size headphone jack. And you'll notice the tapered design. This thing is very thin at about 0.6 inches. Might be even a little bit less than that. I haven't looked in a while. And it is under 2.5 pounds. It's very light and really comfortable to lug around. It just, that's what you want, right? If you're looking for a thin and light machine, you want something that's actually thin and light, not thin and light relative to a 6-pound gaming laptop. Now, new for this year is on the lip. We have more of a protruding lip, so it's easier to grab the machine for a one-handed open. And also has this print on there calling out that it is a full HD quad microphone array. Now, when you lift it open, very easy to do. You do get greeted by that quad microphone array in the camera, but I don't have the Windows Hello facial recognition camera, no IR up here, infrared. So unfortunately, I log in only with the Fingerprint Reader, but that's very fast, just like that. Now, as far as the keyboard deck goes, it's the same as last year's model from what I can tell. Very comfortable, very ThinkPad-y. The trackpad is obviously great, no problem there, but the only thing is I feel like the cursor is a little bit slow inside of Windows. Maybe I need to get used to it. Maybe I need to adjust my resolution scaling, which I guess kind of sucks. But I'll play around with this. If I were to use an external mouse where I can actually adjust these things more, I'm sure it'll be totally fine. Okay, the sticker game is weak this year. You'll notice this Evo sticker is not applied evenly. So I'm gonna remove it anyway, but if you like to keep your stickers, I guess you're gonna have to roll the dice and hope you get a good application. I did test the speakers. They sound perfectly fine. Nothing too crazy, but definitely better than my previous Ultrabook, which was the RazorBook 13. The display is a 1920 by 1200 IPS, rated at 400 nits. I don't find it very bright, but there is this weird auto brightness, auto contrast thing happening in Windows, and as much as I try, I can't disable it. I actually uncheck the box, it shows that it's unchecked, but I can still see the display adjusting when I'm actually moving from one type of content to the other. So that's unfortunate, but I'll play around with it. Right now it's at max brightness, and battery life has been pretty good. I got it at 100%, of course, battery, and right now it's at 59%. I've done a lot of configuration. So for example, well, a lot for me, I configured Outlook with multiple email accounts. I downloaded many gigabytes of past emails into that, so I have everything on my hard drive or my SSD. I downloaded, I don't know, maybe 30 gigabytes worth of OneDrive files and synced them with my laptop. So there's been a lot of network activity which can absolutely drain the battery. So to see it at just under 60%, it's at 58, I think is pretty good. But you don't really know until you're doing real work, right? So you're doing Word and Outlook and that kind of stuff more consistently, and you're not doing configuration type setup. Alrighty, so I like to do real world tests. So how quickly does the browser open? How quickly does Word open? And I'm very happy with it. So as you can see here, Word will open in under 2 seconds. Now the M1 MacBooks, I've railed on them many times in my videos. I had one for 9 months and it was so slow. It just couldn't open an Office application in under 5 or 6 seconds, oftentimes peaking at around 9 or 10 seconds. I even took it down to a Genius bar and showed one of their geniuses, and the guy was stumped. Pulled out a 2013 MacBook, running Intel, which opened Office applications faster. I'm gonna open Edge, 3, 2, 1. Boom, almost instantaneously. Right now the battery is set to balanced mode. So to see that quickness is definitely very good, but the question is, how does that balance with the battery efficiency? And I don't have an answer today. I've only had this for a few practical hours. I need to get more time with it, actually use it outside of home, use it on the road, get some of my workflows going, and then I'll have a more comprehensive opinion about it. But for now, I will say it's very much like last gen. It's a lot like the ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 9. So if you're looking to save some serious money because prices are, you know, crazy right now, you may want to go for last year's model, particularly if you only need, let's say, 8 to 11 hours of battery life, which is pretty good. You're going to get that out of last year's model. Now, last year's model also, you know, those Intel CPUs ran hot, so the fans would spin up a little more than usual. The keyboard deck and the back would get a little bit warm. For me, so far, I have heard the fan spin when I lift the laptop up and put it to my ear. I'm not exaggerating. I haven't heard the fans really spin up, and we've all been there, right? If you're watching this, you're probably a ThinkPad fan. You've heard it before, right? You're configuring Windows, putting in your name and selecting your keyboard layout, and all of a sudden the fans just go right like a jet engine. That did not happen with this machine. So I haven't heard this really spin up and do anything crazy, even while I was downloading all those files and all those emails at the same time. So that may imply that this is going to run cooler than last year's model. So if you want something quieter. So if you want something that's quieter than last year's model, then consider that when you're doing your analysis. But for now, don't make any decisions based on my video. Not that anybody ever does. But I wanted to get this out there because I noticed when I was doing my own research, there were no videos about these new carbons unless they were like, you know, sneak peek first look at CES, which is not super helpful. So here you go, one dude's opinion. So far so good. I'll have more in the next couple of weeks. Cheers.